Hello, everyone. My name is Will Schleissner, and I'm running for New York State Assembly in District 2. And I made my announcement probably today, if you're listening to this. And I decided to do a little primer here in the form of a podcast to just introduce myself. I will not be discussing really in depth on the issues today. I will give you a brief rundown of who I am, what my beliefs are, and in the future, I hope to do maybe even every 2 weeks a podcast that really does a deep dive on a lot of the issues facing the state. But for now, let's just get to know each other. So I'm a father of 2 young boys living in Sound Beach, New York. I'm 36 years old. My wife, Amanda, is a wonderful mother to our children and a great wife. She is currently enrolled in Adelphi University, and she is getting her master's in social work. I personally am a graduate from Adelphi University. I grew up in Queens, New York. Me and my family moved to Long Island when I was 11, so that was, I think, 7th grade. I was a graduate of Lindenhurst High School. So let's get to what my beliefs are. I am a progressive, and I know that immediately makes people think that I'm a socialist, but I'm not. I'm a progressive, and being a progressive means so many different things to different people. But let me tell you what it means to me. It means to me that I believe everyone is entitled to certain rights. One of those rights is healthcare. I'm a huge supporter of a single payer plan, and I'm a huge supporter of the New York Health Act. And again, we'll do a deep dive on the New York Health Act in the future. Just for now, we're gonna just give broad policy ideas right now. I'm a believer in the New York Health Act. I believe it will be a boom for our economy. I believe it'll attract businesses back to Long Island and New York State in general. And I believe that, more importantly, it will provide people with the best possible care the state can provide them. And I believe that ultimately it should not matter what your income bracket is. It should simply matter that you're sick and you need care. In addition to healthcare, I believe that education is a huge focal point of being a progressive. A progressive should believe that education is a human right, too. And I'm not just talking about college, because that's always the big thing right now is we're talking about college, free tuition and vocational programs, and that's all very important. And there's absolutely no denying that fact. But I believe statewide pre-K, not universal. I'm trying to keep that word out of my vocabulary because I think we progressive lean on universal as a kind of a buzzword. But statewide pre-K, I believe, is long overdue. Somewhere along the line, we decided that our kids should just start being educated at 5 years old. And that, to me, is not right. We need to educate our children younger age. 4 years old seems like a great time to start educating our children. I believe that the sooner we catch developmental issues, which a lot of times happens in school, things like dyslexia, the easier it is to get them help that they need and that they don't get frustrated and lose interest in school. I believe that the other, ADHD, if caught early, if you can help them manage it early on, that it becomes less of a detriment just to them. And I won't get into a deep dive on my statewide pre-K program plan, but just know that I believe it is essential to get that off the ground, that it is a shame that our education system starts so late. We should be looking to educate our children really as soon as possible. There's no reason for this arbitrary number. The other thing that progressives believe in is that our environment should be protected. And it's pretty clear. I mean, I don't think I'm saying anything wildly inappropriate. We live on an island, and our island has already been affected by climate change. Superstorm Sandy was not an isolated incident. It is something that's going to happen again. And it will happen with not only more frequency, but it'll take lesser storms to do the damage that Sandy did. When you look at what's been happening on the South Shore, people have had to raise their homes or flat out leave that area because they can't afford to raise their homes for smaller storms. The waters come all the way up to Montauk Highway in a lot of places. And this is not a coincidence that now that we've breached the seawall on the South Shore, that this is happening with more frequency. And it's our fault. Make no mistake about it. Human beings are affecting this planet, and we in New York and on Long Island need to make a positive impact. We need to show the rest of the country that we can take positive steps towards removing our carbon footprint or lowering our carbon footprint by reducing our usage of fossil fuels dramatically. We need to make sure that we don't frack in New York. We need to make sure that we incentivize businesses to install solar technology to help prevent an increase in pollution in our state. We need to show that it can be cost effective, that it's beneficial to businesses to protect the environment. And it's up to the state to make sure that happens. I know there's a lot of people out there that don't want a nanny state. They don't want a state getting involved in business, but I don't think we have a choice. We need to show the world, the country, that responsible climate change legislation is profitable, that you don't necessarily need to bring your business into bankruptcy just to be responsible. And that's another important subject that progressives really care about. There are other ones, but overall, that's what it means to me to be a progressive. Now, why am I running? Right? I'm a busy father. I have a full-time job. Why am I running? It's a great question, and I contemplate it every day because the challenge I'm facing with not only beating my incumbent but fundraising and time consumption. It almost seems insurmountable at times. But why am I running? It's because I care. Because I love the state. Okay? Me and my wife, we faced a choice not too long ago about whether or not we should leave, whether or not we should pursue jobs in other states. And the realization we both came to is we love New York. Our family's here. We want to help this place turn into a place where people want to live, where people want to raise families again. The birth rate is dropping dramatically on Long Island and across the state because millennial couples like myself, like me and my wife, are leaving. And that's scary because if we don't have enough people here investing in the economy and paying taxes, then our infrastructure is going to crumble. It already is crumbling in many cases. The state of our roads in our towns, our counties, and overall the state is in disarray. It's pretty embarrassing. I mean, a big portion of my district is part of Brookhaven, and Brookhaven has some of the worst roads in the state. It's embarrassing riding on these roads, and while that's not going to be a thing that I can fix at the state level, I can certainly work to hold town officials accountable for the state of our roads, for the money the state is providing them, whether or not it's being used properly or not. And that's why I'm running. I want to make this place a place that people want to raise families. And right now, it's very difficult for young couples to make it here. It is downright demoralizing how hard it is. And me and my wife, we struggle with it all the time. And I'm going to tell you a personal story right now. And I want to be clear that I intend on being fully transparent about this because I know that I'm not the only one that's had to do it. But me and my wife, we declared bankruptcy about 3 years ago. Now, this might shock people that I'm announcing this on my introductory podcast, but the reality is it's readily available. As soon as my opponent or the GOP decides that they want to start looking me up, they'll find these court records that, yeah, I declared bankruptcy. Why? Was I spending frivolously on cars and jewelry for my wife and luxurious strollers for my children? No. It was everyday items. It's just trying to get by. And we still struggle. The bankruptcy didn't solve every problem that we have, but it helped alleviate some of the issues we were having at the time. And the reality is that we're not the only ones. You know, it's funny when I tell people this, and I don't hide it. I don't wear it as a badge of honor either, but I don't hide it. People are like, oh, me too, or I know somebody that did too. We're not the only ones that face this. And the reason I'm telling you my bankruptcy story on my introductory podcast is because I'm you. I'm a working class or middle class family on Long Island. I'm struggling just like everyone else. I'm not part of the political class. I'm not the upper echelon here like a lot of politicians are. I'm here and I'm going to work for you. And you know what motivates me to run are the struggles that everyday Long Islanders face. Now, what do I need from you? Because this is going to be an ask here, right? If you made it to the end of this podcast, this brief introductory podcast, you're going to be faced with the question. I need money. I do need you to donate. Go to my website, willschleisner.com, and donate to my campaign. There's a donation link right on the front page. You can also donate. You can also go to the Facebook page that I've set up that you probably found this podcast on. There'll be a link to Act Blue right there. And I encourage you, give what you can. We have to combat the GOP machine. And I promise you, I will use whatever money you give me wisely. And I will do my absolute best for the people of New York and for the people of Long Island. And I also need volunteers. So it's not only a money ask here, there's volunteers. I need volunteers. I need help running this operation. So if you're interested, you can sign up on my website, willschleisner.com. There's a volunteer link there as well. You can sign up, state what you want to do. We have open positions within the campaign. If you've ever wanted to have experience on a campaign, I'm here to show you. I helped run Sarah DeOnorines campaign for town council as treasurer, and I believe that I have valuable experience I can share with you as a candidate and as just a campaign worker. And I look forward to hearing from people, and like I said, I'm going to do some deep dives on some policy issues, and I look forward to speaking with you all in the future. Thank you.